it was like awful because they just came, whoever it was, came through so fast.
One of the busiest pedestrian intersections in this state became the scene of a horrific accident between a car and 4 people this afternoon. You're looking at this scene here on 4th and Broadway in downtown Nashville. An 87-year-old man ran a red light, plowing into 4 people. 1 man died and 4 others were rushed to the hospital. There are also so many questions surrounding this accident. We hope we can answer some of them at least. Fox 17 News' Dennis Ferrier is live on Broadway with what he's learning. Dennis, fill us in.
Kelly, you know, I think more people, pedestrians, people cross the street on Lower Broadway than anywhere else in Tennessee. And tonight's no different, just throngs of people. And today at 12:35, it wasn't that busy, but there were a lot of people here. And 4 people were crossing the road. And they had the crosswalk, but they also didn't have a chance because someone came and hit them in a car, smashing into them at full speed.
A 58-year-old Australian man struck and killed. A male pedestrian from Jacksonville is in critical condition. A woman from Knoxville is in serious condition. A 4th pedestrian is also in non-critical condition. And then the driver of the car, an 87-year-old man from Kentucky who was driving with his wife and a caregiver. The entire incident captured on video. We have a copy of that video. We're going to be very careful with this and stop it before anyone gets hit. But you can see what happens. Afterwards, people are laying in the street and other pedestrians rush to help. Kelsey Dyes is manager of Big Time Boots, just 10 to 20 yards from the accident.
3 of the people that got hit and they flew, and some of them skidded across the pavement. I just personally saw the emergency vehicles come up, and we had another employee who was out picking something up who saw everything happen, who actually attempted to give CPR to one of the people.
But how did this happen? Why did this 87-year-old man do this? We just don't know. Police have interviewed the caregiver, who was uninjured, but we do not know what happened.
The cause of this yet to be determined as to what was going on with this 87-year-old driver from Kentucky.
In the meantime, an accident like this brings up the question, is Lower Broadway just getting too busy for any car traffic?
On particularly weekend evenings when pedestrian traffic swells overwhelmingly on Broadway, we shut down the street in conjunction with NDOT. The street was not shut down. Pedestrian traffic was not overwhelming at that time of day. Again, this was at just after 12:30 on a Saturday afternoon. The pedestrian traffic had not swelled to the point that closure was necessitated.
And in all fairness, there have not been a lot of pedestrian car accidents on Lower Broadway. Nevertheless, many people who work here would like to see Lower Broadway go pedestrian only.
It just would be safer, and I think it would be better for the businesses down here to let people kind of roam freely rather than have to play the game that is the crosswalk over there, because it's always dicey.
And of course, that discussion will now be reopened with new passion. You're going to hear a lot about that. But here's the thing, we still don't know why this happened in particular. We know that police interviewed that caregiver, so you're going to get a good idea of what happened in that car because the caregiver was uninjured, but they haven't passed that along to us yet. We will get that to you as soon as we find out. I'm Dennis Ferrier reporting live in downtown Nashville. Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Thank you, Dennis. And Mayor Freddie O'Connell released a statement today saying in part that his heart goes out to the victims and their families. He goes on to say, our main goals now are to take care of the victims and to keep everyone else safe. And there have been multiple safety improvements along the Broadway corridor since it's boomed into one of the busiest stretches throughout the South. The city widened sidewalks about a decade ago and installed heavy steel bollards to keep cars from hitting pedestrians. Vehicle traffic is blocked off on Broadway during major events like the CMA Fest and on some heavy volume nights and weekends. But again, there's been that ongoing debate about whether Broadway should permanently be cut off to cars like at a Times Square or in New Orleans. Metro Council member for downtown Jacob Coupin tells Fox 17 it's a question he's continually considering.
Something we certainly should want to be exploring. We're always evaluating that balance of that, but you know, constantly working on that, constantly looking at how to keep people safe.
And while some businesses have supported closing Broadway to vehicle traffic, at least during peak hours, others have argued it would hurt deliveries and commerce.